People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another show for you. Chelsea transfer deadline day show. A lot's happened. We've not spoken about the Cole Palmer signing, which we'll be talking about today. There's a couple of movements across Chelsea Football Club in regards to outgoings. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Trevor Chalobah, and some others, which we'll be getting into at some point today as well. I need you guys to be smashing the likes. We'll be doing a match preview today as well, getting the panel in as well. It's not going to be too much of a long show today, though, guys, because I am pretty packed out at the moment with work. But good to see you all here. Smash the likes, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's cue that intro. People, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another transfer news show. And it's a transfer deadline show because it finishes today, guys. It is over. It is over after today. And we're here to discuss everything to do with Chelsea. And we're going to be digging into some of the news and breaking news in the next sort of hour and a bit to share with you guys as well. I hope you guys are having a blessed Friday, though. I really do hope you guys are having a blessed Friday. Keep yourselves busy and safe. And yeah, let's get into some stuff in regards to Chelsea as well. We'll talk about that actually because that's an announcement as well. But how is everyone in the chat, man? There's nearly 75 people here already. Big love to every single one of you guys. Tap, guys. Tap. Let's get these likes up. How quickly can we get these likes up is the aim here as well. Let's quickly have a look. Leo, big love to you. How are you, man? Nice to see you. Kai, how are you? Bonnie, nice to see you. Bobby's in the building. I'm here for time for a change. Come on, Bobby. Big love to see you, man. Dexter, how are you? Designer, how are you? Why did we go buy this guy? We're going to talk about that in a bit. Jessica, how are you, darling? Nice to see you as well. Devin, Matt, Dark, everyone that's in here. Matt, guys, big love, man. Nice to see every single one of you in here as well. 2 seconds. 2 seconds, guys. But yeah, so getting into things. Hope you're all good. And we're just going to get straight into the figure things. So we've got quite a lot to get into anyway. So in regards to what's going on with Chelsea currently at the moment, well, let's get into it. 2 seconds. Let me see. There's nothing else coming through just yet because things are flying out at the moment. Ansu Fati is becoming a Brighton player. We got the notes of Kolo Muani going to PSG. Looks like it's going to happen as well, which is quite an interesting one. Chelsea are still working on another young player, which we're going to talk about in a second as well. Let's get into things. Let's just fly into it. Let's go. So the one that's staying out at the moment and could still happen is the Corinthians are negotiating to close the sale of Gabriel Mascardo to Chelsea very soon. The fee could reach around 25 million euros to sign him as well. And it adds to the additions of many young players that Chelsea are signing. And I think the clear image in all of this and what Chelsea Football Club are trying to do at the moment, since Todd Bowley's came in the door, is that they're trying to build a youth project. In my opinion, it's a youth project. It is about the now because we still brought in some top quality European players for the now, but it's also about the youth and bringing them through and then it's about working out and seeing how we utilize the youth because it's all right bringing all of these players in, but what are we actually doing with them? You know, where what are we doing with these players? What is the idea? Big up Blue Lounge Mo. How are you, man? Nice to see you guys. Guys, there's over 60 of you here already. Keep smashing the likes. Keep, if we can, subscribe if you're new as well. And let's move from this. But yeah, it goes on to the fact that we continue to add young players. We've also got, obviously, the club that we bought out, Strasbourg, as well, which we will be, I'm pretty much assuming we're sending players across to as well. So this is something that is not a shock now in terms of what Chelsea do. This is something that is not a shock. This is how Chelsea moved. This is how they have moved for the last, since Todd Bowley's come through the door. So we'll see if we end up pulling that one across the door as well. We'll see what happens. Moving on from that, we've got this from CFC Daily in regards to a game against Chelsea and Brighton. It is on Wednesday the 27th at 7:45. However, it's not on TV. Not confirmed yet, but the game should be on TV outside of UK. Not 100% confirmed though. So that game between Chelsea and Brighton at home will not feature on TV. Found it very weird that the Wimbledon game wasn't even on the TV, to be quite honest with you. Found it all very weird. No more kids. Yeah, I can see what people were saying already. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we perform. Sorry, just trying to get some air in it. It's so hot, guys. I'm not going to lie. How we perform in the upcoming games. And we spoke about that period. Obviously, the period where, we need to win games. We've won the first two. We come to Nottingham Forest on Saturday, which we're going to talk about a bit later. We have to win. We come back. We have a couple of games which I expect us to go on and win. And then we've got that hard period against Arsenal, starting with Arsenal, running all the way through of just top teams in the Premier League of playing up against as well. So moving on to players that are leaving the club. Well, one who has been a youth player at Chelsea, Callum Hudson-Odoi, has agreed to go to Nottingham Forest. Here we go. That's all confirmed. He's also on his way to having a medical as well, guys. He will be he'll be gone. And when it comes to Callum Hudson-Odoi, I've always said with Callum Hudson-Odoi, I think it's one of them ones where, yeah, he was talented. Yeah, I saw him in the reserves when he was younger, how well he was playing, this, that, and the other. But as he got his chances and opportunities in the Chelsea shirt, I just never felt like he really took him. He had some good moments. I'm not saying he had bad moments because he did. He had some good moments in the club. He got that injury. Once he picked up that injury, it just completely wiped him out. He just wasn't the same player, and that's one of the proper issues that we have with, with some of the youth that we've sold on at this time as well. And it's a shame because there was a very good player in him. But at the same time, I think there's just a lot that happened with him as well. But good luck to him over at Nottingham Forest. And, oh, shock. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Where's this Ornstein thing? Ornstein's dropped something, which I don't think it's actually got anything to do with Chelsea, but still intrigues me. Liverpool reject a verbal bid worth 100 million plus substantial add-ons from Saudi Pro League to sign Mohamed Salah for Al Hadidi. Proposal made on amicable call to Michael Gordon last night. View as case closed. So Mo Salah had a massive bid put forward to him, which they declined and didn't accept, which is quite interesting. Big up Ed, how are you, bro? Is it a permanent deal or a loan? It is a good question. I believe it's a permanent deal. Chalobah. Not for Chalobah, for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, guys. So, yeah, head of his expected move. Yeah, it's a permanent move for him. Documents are ready. Here we go. I'm not too sure how much for. It doesn't say anything about how much for. But he's still only 22 years old. And it's going to be interesting to really see how he gets on or how he moves on in the upcoming phases as well. But good luck to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Thank you for being here at Chelsea, doing your thing and whatever. But you had to be sold. And I'm glad that the show host now can't talk about him anymore as a Chelsea player because I was fed out of that one. But another one that looks like he's on his way out the door is Trevor Chalobah. And we understand that Chelsea are looking at letting Trevor Chalobah alone as it's unlikely they will be able to get a permanent move for him. Bayern Munich is his likely destination. Player welcomes the move. Expect more updates on Chelsea and Bayern very shortly. Thomas Tuchel favours Trevor Chalobah. And if you remember, guys, very closely, Thomas Tuchel was the one that brought Trevor Chalobah through to Chelsea. Now, I'm a little bit reserved with this one because I actually like Trevor Chalobah. I think he's a good player. The issue we have is the amount of defenders we brought in. And when you've got Disassi, Fofana, Silva, Badiashile, Trevor Chalobah, there's just a lot of players. Colwill, there's like 5 or 6 defenders there, and I get it, but and I'm keeping it reserved yet. I just think I don't know about Disassi at the moment. Is what I'm trying to get at. I am still very reserved with him And I'm starting to, and I'm going to wait. I'm going to give him a season. I'm going to give him the time. I think time needs to be given for these players. But if we saw Trevor Chalobah and Disasi just does not improve as an individual, play in a role that's required at our club, then I'm going to look at the board and say, well, why did we get rid of Chalobah? Why? Because Trevor Chalobah in the back three is actually really good. If anything, the back three suits Trevor Chalobah more than anyone. That's when we've seen his best performances. So I want to stay quiet about it for now. But I will be watching, and I hope Disasi pulls through and he gets better and whatever. But it's just frustrating, isn't it? We get excited about definitely future winners. I see, but I'm really worried about the club not getting Champions League football for FFP because But this is what we have to do this season. We have to get Champions League football. PSG also signed Kolo Muani. We know that. Yep. Fafana's injured as well, which makes it a bit of an issue. Fafana and Disasi are better than Chalobah. It is what it is. I don't know about that yet. I don't think that's true, in my opinion. I wouldn't say Disasi is better than Chalobah. I think that's a debate worth having from what I've seen up to this point. Fafana, overall should be the better defender for as much as we spent on him. And I expect him to get better, but it's just these injuries. And he wasn't great last season. He had some poor games. Let's be serious. He had some poor games last season. So, I don't know. Tony to Chelsea, 80 million will near. I hope so, because I like Ivan Toney. I think he's a good option. I think having him and Jackson would be perfect for Chelsea in terms of their strike force, in my opinion. We need some experienced players, is what we've got here. Breaking news from Dodgers. Let's go and have a look from Dodgers. What's he saying? What is the Dodgers saying? Reguilon's gone to Man United. Where is Dodgers? Well, let's have a look. Ain't no breaking news from Dodgers. Oh, here we go. Okay, cool. We'll talk about that. That is for that part. So we will fling that over there. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Trevor Chalobah. But more on that coming from Fabrizio Romano today in regards to Trevor Chalobah is this news that, and it's an exclusive, Trevor Chalobah deal not off at all, as Bayern are still negotiating with Chelsea. New proposal sent to make deal happen on straight loan. So it's going to be a loan. Discussions continue. FC Bayern are confident Chalobah gave his green light to the move. And do you know what? I think this could be tactically quite clever. And I think there's a meaning behind this. Provided there's no obligation to buy. This is what I don't want, because I don't think we should put an obligation to buy. If Disasi doesn't perform, let's just say he does not perform to their levels and we realise that he actually just ain't that good. But Trevor Chalobah goes to Bayern Munich, starts playing for them in a top team, Champions League football, gets minutes, becomes better in his role, and we have the opportunity to bring him back to this club with more experienced, and again, Trevor Chalobah is very young, by the way, more experienced, more touched up, more completed Trevor Chalobah. That puts Chelsea in good stead. So loaning him out is probably the best option, especially to a team like Bayern Munich. But I would not put an obligation to buy in that, because I think it will give us a good option as of if some of these defenders do not work or we have problems with these defenders. Bringing Trevor Chalobah back would be great, especially if he performs. Yeah, Gallagher, we'll talk about it in a bit. Big up, Undertaker CFC. How are you, my man? Nearly over 100 people in the chat. Big up, guys. Loan for Trev would be good. I agree. We have one more. We have one more loan slot, from what I understand. One more loan slot. And maybe that's going to be Trevor Chalobah. So we have to see what happens there. Guys, everyone tap the likes as well, please. Everyone's hit the thumbs. Come on, raise it up. Let's get this over 100. Nearly 100 people here, actually. 14 minutes in. Big up to every single one of you that are currently in here as well. So we'll keep an eye on Trevor Chalobah in the next sort of hours or so. But there's another one. And this is one where everyone was like, yeah, make it happen. We don't want him. To now, a lot of people saying, keep him. Keep an eye out on Conor Gallagher, is what Fabrizio Romano is saying here. He seems to feel that Tottenham and Chelsea are in discussions for Conor Gallagher, and it's not over yet. Now, when we move on from that, we got a bit of news from the Dodgers, recent news in regards to Trevor Chalobah. And it goes on to say that Chelsea and Tottenham negotiations over Conor Gallagher continue, but two parties are around 10 million apart on the valuations. So we've been told Chelsea want around 45 plus million for him. Tottenham are probably offering 35 to 40 million for the player. We'll see. Maybe Tottenham strike this deal. Maybe they get it done. They've got a good midfield as it is anyway. But Conor Gallagher is one that's impressed, should I say. And I wouldn't say that I'm still fully sold on him in this role. I think he has improved his game. And you can see he's improving his game in a role that he's not comfortable in. He's releasing the ball quicker. He's winning the ball in the right areas. His positional sense is getting better. Should we keep him? Ideally. Depends on how much the clubs are offering for him. That's my big thing with it. How much are they offering for him is my thing. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I really think it's going to be interesting, and we'll see what happens. But we'll keep an eye on this one from him as well. Seems to be about 45. New tweet from Dodgers. Chelsea want 45 million, it seems. Yeah. We'll have to see what happens. No, I don't want to do any business with Tottenham. They never want to do business. That's true. Big up, Jay. How are you, my man? So we'll keep an eye, guys, like I said, on Conor Gallagher and Trevor Chalobah in these next upcoming phases as well. We'll see what happens from there. Now, before we go into one of the main topics, I want to just quickly jump onto something because I believe the Conor Gallagher story is fascinating. Spurs planning late move for Conor Gallagher. Chelsea value him at 50 million, is what Jacob Steinberg says. Apparently 50 million is what we want for Conor Gallagher. He's sold. They must be offering us 40 million at the moment, Spurs as well. And we'll keep you up to date with that as we go along. But that is one that's turning into be quite interesting. So we will see how it moves from here. Now, Pochettino's doing his press conference, and he's talking about Cole Palmer already. And we're going to quickly go through that with you guys before we go back to Cole Palmer, who we're going to talk about in a second. But here is the news. He's fit for the project. He's young, talented player. The important thing is because he wanted to come to improve his game, to be more involved. The quality is there, great potential. Now he needs to settle and prove. And that again goes to show how Chelsea have been so quick at getting these deals done. This only took us a day to get him agreed. Let's be serious. And he wanted the move. He forced this move like Enzo, like Caicedo, like Lavia. He moved from a winning mentality of Man City to coming into the project at Chelsea because there's obviously a clear path of where we want to go with this. And these young and exciting players are obviously looking at that as an opportunity. And I think it's great. I really do think it's great for the club. I really do. He then goes on to say that Mauricio Pochettino on Cole Palmer being the final one coming. I think so. There is no time at the moment. If something is going on, I don't know. So I think so. There is no time at the moment. Sorry, I just getting messages is going on. I don't know. So basically, Mauricio Pochettino seems to feel that this is done. That we don't expect any more to be coming in at this time. Yeah, we've seen that already. We've seen that, bro. We've seen that already. So he seems to feel that the work's done in terms of any other signings coming through the door. We'll keep refreshing this because this is as we speak at the moment. All right, 21 seconds ago. We are happy with the squad, and I don't believe that something will happen in the next few hours in terms of players in. You know, I haven't mentioned anything about players out. That is all still going. Chelsea are trying to sell players now, guys. Cole Palmer is the last player that Chelsea is signing, and I do believe that. What's going on now is just getting rid of players, and that's where we are now at the moment with it all. So he goes to say that he does not expect any more players to come in from now moving forward. And he's quite happy with the team. I mean, we filled the goalkeeping area, we filled the striking area, and we will do a show, not this show, but a show after this, going through the transfers and how we feel, how we rate them, what we think, etc., etc. We will talk about that. It does, because Cucurella was going to go. And, you know, talking about the Cucurella thing, we'll do that in a second. But I don't really get why we played him when we were going to sell him. They stopped wanting him when they watched him play. They saw his performance against Wimbledon and said, no, we don't want that. So why the hell did we play him to now not be able to loan him? I don't think Cucurella is a bad player, but a loan in that area would have been good for Maatsen, because then I think Maatsen and Chua was perfect, in my opinion, on that side. I don't get why we played it. I really don't. We need to explain the reality. Spending lots of money, we sign players, we sell players. It's not fair to say anything wrong about my former club. It's more about net spend and then about the money spent. That's the balance. And people always look at what you spend. They don't care about what you sell in terms of numbers. They don't talk about it. But when you look at what Chelsea have spent or have done in this summer window, we will talk about that. Forgetting the whole, oh, we spent over £1 billion, blah, 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 blah. So Chelsea have spent 395 million after Cole Palmer. 395 million. Okay. They have sold 245 million to this point. Now, if Conor Gallagher goes, that reaches 300 million. If Trevor Chalobah goes, that's going to be a loan. So the only one I can see going, like selling, is maybe a Conor Gallagher. That could go up to 300 million. That means even if we don't sell Conor Gallagher, we've got a net spend of 150 million in this window. But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. They just see us buying players and they just keep, riding out. Big up the beautiful game. How are you, bro? They don't want to talk about it, guys. And that's what makes me laugh, because, and like Pochettino said there, it matches what I said. We are buying players, but we're also selling players. They are trying to balance the books. And I agree. Let's skip that one and go to this one. I think all the players that are involved in the squad are in our plans. After, it's a decision of the two parties, the club and player. Conor Gallagher is a consistent player that can perform in different positions. We are so happy with him. So my thing to this, or my blow to this would be, if we get a deal struck, it's got to be at the right price. So we're going to want the 50 million. But also, Conor Gallagher himself is going to have to leave, right? Because it takes two to tango. So I think it's pretty clear that we will probably want to keep him this season. But if Tottenham meet the price that they're willing to pay for him, and he goes and he says, actually, I want to go, then we're going to sell him. We are going to sell him. End of. We are going to sell him, guys. Any new, fresh update injuries? No news is good news. So no fresh injury updates there as well, is what he goes on to say there. Let's keep refreshing. See if we hear any more on the game. Still going. Still waiting for it. Still waiting for that. Guys, over 100 of you here right now. Big love to every single one of you guys. Please make sure you're smashing the likes as well if you can, please. I'd massively appreciate it, as always. We're just waiting for more news to pull through, guys, on this press conference. And then we're going to jump into Cole Palmer. We're going to talk about him, why we signed him. Because at the beginning, I was a little bit, why? Why are we spending 45 million on Cole Palmer? What are we doing? Then I look at him as a player, what he brings, his abilities, what he's involved in, the winning mentality team of Man City, the likes of Raheem Sterling bringing him up, these element of things. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, and he can play 10, which is what we needed. We need someone that was versatile, and he's played 10 for a while. We'll come back to him in a second. To progress on the team, we need all of the elements: player fit, to evolve our way to play, and the capacity to train with the whole team. In the current circumstances, we are happy. Now we are focused on competing and getting good results. So he's talking about just us pulling together, working hard, getting on the pitch, doing what we need to do, and being successful, basically, on that. What I would do is I'm going to pull away quickly from this, guys. I'm just going to go quickly fly into the Cole Palmer situation, because we have signed him. Exclusive story: Cole Palmer to Chelsea, 40 million plus add-ons, contract to 2030. I have joined Chelsea because the project here sounds good, and because of the platform I will try to showcase my talents. And he is a good player. There's no doubts about it. I do think he's very good. Is he worth 45, 50 million? That's up to debate. But market inflation, rival tax, English player, all of these little things, all add to inflation, unfortunately. He, for me, is Man City's best young prospect, as of we speak. We've gone and bought him. He's tall, he's quick, he's good with his ball at his feet, he dribbles. He's got end product. And that's the real key thing here for me. He will score goals. You put him in the right area, I think he'll score. We haven't seen enough of a sample size of him. And I want to see how Chelsea utilise him in games, whether he plays in the 10, whether he plays off the right. But I think it's going to be an interesting signing, one that could really work for us. At the same time, we'll see. Yeah, I've seen this, bro. We've seen it. We've seen all this. So I ask you guys the same question. How happy are you of the signing of Cole Palmer? And we move on from that and we go on to his official statement, his official comments on here, which go on to say, I'm excited to get started and it feels great to sign. I've joined Chelsea because the project here sounds good and because of the platform. I will have to try and showcase my talents. It's a young and hungry squad and hopefully we can do something special here. He's hungry. He's ready. The new away kit as well, guys. What we saying. Now, this deal itself will be on a 7+ 1 year deal for him. Cole Palmer is set to sign for Chelsea for a 7+ 1 year deal at Chelsea, according to Simon Jones. Again, Chelsea bending the backs of the Premier League rules and being able to sign players on long-term contracts to drag across the total fees, which makes it even minimal. I'd be interested to know what sort of wage set he's on, how much we're going to pay him. But, it's going to be interesting. Now, what number of kit will he be wearing? Well, the number kit he'll be wearing, guys, is this one, number 20. Yeah, I think we have to give him the chance, guys. I'm not overly sold on it. And when it first came out, I was like, what are we doing? We missed out on Kudus. We ain't going for Cherky. But then I weighed up all of the things compared to him. Kudus was cheaper. But the issue with Kudus was that him and Jackson would have gone to the African Cup of Nations in January, would have lost 2 players. That's a problem for Chelsea. And I am telling you now, in January, we are signing a striker because that is the one area we haven't gone and got yet. I am telling you, in January, we have to. Because when Jackson goes, who's our striker? Brower? Just Brower? And Kunku? No, I think we go and sign a striker. And I think there's a very good chance that we could go for an Ivan Toney. In my opinion. He's not played enough, is he? Of course, a fucking Arsenal fan's going to say that, isn't he? You just worry about trying to win the Premier League like you guys seem to think you can. Yeah, and we'll go from there, mate. We will go from there. Yeah, so, I think it's going to be an interesting one. We'll see what happens. We move from there. Just going to quickly message the group. So I want to get the boys in for at least a little bit. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, Cole Palmer to Chelsea, interesting one. We'll talk about that to the panel very soon as well. We're going to quickly fly back to the Mauricio Pochettino interview here as well and have a quick look at the finished comments that he's got. He goes on to say about we'll bring in Hassan, leave Hassan on the side there for a second while we talk here. Of course, I'm happy. Of course, I was happy with the progress, disappointed with the West Ham, but after that, we are progressing. If we see that the squad now, yes, with all the injured players, maybe I cannot say that's a perfect balance. With the players available, I am so happy because we have good balance, and that's true. We are suffering again from serious injuries, and if we ever do have a fully fit squad, I think we have quite a strong, young, in-depth squad. You know, he goes on to talk about Romelu Lukaku. He says, "I'm not disappointed. The club was so clear. I believe in that. It was clear. I did not create an expectation in my mind. It was clear he would not be here this season. Good. See you later." So he talks about that, and then he goes on to say, for me, all the players deserve the best. I'm not going to say nothing against the managers involved in national teams. It's their decision. We want to provide the best tools and push even more that the players can achieve the call, is what he goes on to say as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much sums it up for us, guys. I'm not going to really continue with that one because we've still got obviously the preview to go into as well. But what I will do is I will speak quickly to Couch and Hassan about the signing of Cole Palmer. Now, we know in terms of outgoings, Conor Gallagher could be going if they meet the 50 million. They're 10 million short at the moment. Spurs, he could. We keep an eye on that. Trevor Chalobah could go on loan to Bayern Munich. That could happen again today. We'll wait and see on that. Callum Hudson-Odoi is left. But I want to stick. He also mentioned just quickly, Pochettino and Romeo Lavia. He says it's still too soon for him to play. He ain't going to play until the international break after, in my opinion. And he'll come back in and play 20, 30 minutes there, and then he'll just grow into it. Because what I think Poch is trying to do with Lavia is prepare him for the big period of games with Arsenal, Cities, Tottenham's, Brighton. I think he's going to want him ready for that period. And I think that's why they're not rushing him at the moment, because they feel they can get through these games, how we are, with what we have at the moment. Caicedo, Enzo, fine. We can do that. And Gallagher. So, yeah, Lavia's not ready. We'll probably see him when he gets back when we get back from international duty after the game tomorrow as well. But let's go to Hassan quickly. Hassan, Cole Palmer to Chelsea. How do you feel?
Well, I don't know what to say to that, Jim, actually. It's one of them signings where it was a curveball to probably give you guys an accurate description. It's just something that was unpredictable. And I usually give the scouting and Joe Shields and the higher ups credits for getting these types of signings done, but I'm a little bit puzzled by it. I think for me, right, I think if he was genuinely good, I don't think City would actually sell him. And to be honest, 45 minutes a little bit too much for a youngster that's barely kicked professional football. Could someone tell me how many games he's had? It's probably under 50, probably under 40, something like that. So it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know what to expect with him. I just hope that he does work out because what is it at 42, 45 million around the region of we signed him for?
40 million plus 5 million add-ons, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, man. It's going to be a lot of expectations. For all I heard, he's a winger, more so than a 10. But I don't know, like, it's a very, very weird situation, that, and it's not the signing that everyone was hoping it'd turn out to be, but we just got to back him, Jeremy, because he's our player now. And
I think there's a bit of context to this, and we can all agree on the price tag. Yeah, maybe it's a bit too much, whatever, fine. But I'm still on the fence with it to a degree until I see performances, and I think that's fine for every fan to feel that. But when you look at, all right, he's not played many games in the Premier League, but then you look at who the club he's at, the best team in the world, by the way, with wingers of Grealish, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, all these players. He's going to find it hard, but he's in that team. He's playing with them. He's building up experience. Now, the three times that he shined, not only in the internationals for England where they won, are the two finals. And for a player at his age to come into the final in the games that he did, and I'm talking about the Arsenal game, even though they went on to lose it, and was it the Seville they played in the cup? You know, I think he has the, in the mindset. I think there's a winning mentality for him to come into that and be able to do what he did in that. I think we have to look at that and we can't ignore that. Now, obviously, we need more of a consistent patch to see how good he is as a player on the basis of that. But he hasn't been given the opportunities yet for him to be able to display that. And yes, he's come on in a couple of minutes here and there for Man City and this, that, and the other. But that doesn't determine him being a bad player. Obviously, they see him as a prospect. He's relished to the challenge of coming and doing that. Could we have got him? Have we have wasted time a little bit on the whole situation with him? But yeah, we have a little bit, because I think we were ducking and diving. I'm really unsure about what to really do. And when you listen to Pochettino's interviews, he even said, yeah, it's all right buying attacking players, but we have attacking players injured. So when they come back, we want them involved. So it's not about just buying all the time. We will buy because we need to buy, but it's the profile that we buy to bring in. He will play the 10, he will play the wing, and I think we just need to, for me, I will give him the chance. He's at Chelsea, he's wearing the shirt. We give him the chance and we'll see what he can display. There's no doubt he can't score goals. He knows where the back of the net is. Probably better than some of the ones we've got at the team at the moment. I'll be honest with you. He's creative and he can drive the ball when he dribbles, but can he be consistent with it and grow? That is the only question mark. Couch, I know we've had discussions on Cole Palmer, and I think for you, the thing that hurt more than anything, and I agree with it, was more just the price tag and maybe the time that we sort of, maybe the fact that Chelsea have just took too much time to really address the area anyway, that it's given us the basis of having to go for Cole Palmer when maybe we could have gone for a Kudus or something like that. But how you doing, and what's your thoughts on this signing?
Big up Jem, big up Hassan, big up Shatters. Still the jury's to be out for me. There's a couple things I want to get out though before I finish talking. First of all, there's a couple things that I do like about this kid. I like that he's trained by Man City. I think that they have a good job of training young players, and they don't force them into roles that they're not ready for. That's evident, and that's a bonus. I also like that he shows he's the first, and I think that that's part of the reason why the evaluation was so high, is because Man City value their academy. They value their training methods. So you can almost say that the price is in line with the education that he got, because you're learning from the best right now. So there is that. What I don't like, and okay, I'm going to make a quick contrast just because you guys know how I felt about Olise. You guys know what I think about, that position, number 10. For me, number 10 is a position where the best offensive thinker has to be on the pitch, has to be in that position. It's a position where you want somebody that thinks the game rather than just reacts or uses like their technical ability. So I like thinkers in that position, first and foremost. Guys that like solve problems with their head. And yeah, Cole Palmer is a technically gifted player. He's done all the right things, but I just don't think that he's an offensive thinker. He hasn't shown me that. And that's the thing. That's where I think how you use him, what role you use him in, is more important than acquiring the player myself. Like, how is he going to be used? When you look at Olise, like Olise to me is the kind of guy that like he thinks the game. Like the guy is very cerebral. He's a guy that like when he's in his off time, he's playing chess and stuff like that. Like I like thinkers like that. So that's why I said, like, for me, he's not my number 10. Cole Palmer is not my number 10, but we can definitely use him as a shadow striker. We can definitely use him on the flanks as well, because he's got some good speed, he's got some good technique and whatnot. He can certainly score goals, and seems like he likes to come inside anyways. But for me, if you're thinking number 10, you got to be an offensive thinker, and I'm not sure if he has that as much as he has just a natural ability. So
how much of him have you
that's
watched?
where I
Couch?
lie with the whole thing.
Just
Sorry.
out of interest, how much of him have you actually watched? I'm talking 90-minute games.
Oh, you know how much I've watched. You definitely know how much I've watched. I've only really watched the comps, and from what I hear, not only what I've gathered from the comps is true about his game as well, and his thinking of the game. Because the reason why Pep hasn't used him in the number 10 roles is because he's not that type of a thinker. That was what I was gathering from Man City fans. They're all thinking that they're happy that he's not at the club anymore. Like large majority of them, like they didn't think that he thought the game well enough. So
You see, I would say that.
So for me, let me.
I'm letting Couch land.
It's not even that I don't value him as a player. It's the fact that I don't value him for the role that I think that he's going to be used for us, which probably might be the number 10.
So you don't think he's going to bring any sort of attacking threat basically to the team?
What? Where did you get that from?
You just said he doesn't give you that attacking. What was it? What's the phrase that you used? The statement that you used? Sorry.
Attacking thinker.
Yeah, he's not an attacking thinker. I couldn't disagree with that more. I could not disagree with that more.
I think he's more of he's a technical player. He has technical ability, but I don't think that he actually thinks the game. Like, he's not cerebral. He's not a guy that's going to be on the pitch and say, okay, well, I see these things in front of me. These are the problems. How do I solve this right now? He's going to use his technical ability to get him through those situations. And we have players like that already.
Yeah, but what I would say, we'll go to Colin in a second because you're next. But what I would say from what I've seen of him, and again, it is a small glimpse of it, and we need to see more of it. And I think consistency and long patches will determine how good he will end up becoming, because providing he gets the time at Chelsea, which I think he will. I think he's a finisher. I think he's a better finisher than Madueke. I think he's probably a better finisher than Mudryk, from what I've seen. He looks more comfortable in front of goal. What do we need right now? Someone that can do that, but also create. But more than create at the moment is just be in the box with Jackson and put the balls in the back of the net. And the test will come with him because he will get played in 10s. Well, we'll see how we're going to play him, whether we play him in a 10, whether we play him on the wing. But he will have to arrive in the box and support Jackson in the box and become that threat, in my opinion. But there is good to the boy. He has got talent. It's like you can't be playing for City and not have that when you're playing the best team in the world, in my opinion. But we'll go on to Don. Come on in, Don. What are we saying about Cole Palmer? Because it was a big shock, wasn't it, when it come out? Because everyone was like, "Who? What? Cole Palmer?"
Yeah. No, listen, it was a shock. It was a shock because obviously when we spoke about wingers and 10s that we need, like no one mentioned Palmer, not even me. I didn't think of him. And to be honest, I don't know why he didn't cross my mind like that, really. Because the last thing that Pep said about him is he's either going to stay or we're going to sell him. Like, we're not going to loan him out. And yeah, up against Arsenal, he was one of their best players when he scored the other week. Surprise, surprise, the guy got dropped against Burnley. He came on for a little bit, done a little something against Burnley. But this just describes the time of Cole Palmer at Man City, man. The guy, it doesn't matter what he does, how he performs. I've seen him get man of the matches in other competitions for Man City, and he just still doesn't get the nod. Obviously, he's got players like Grealish ahead of him, like Jem said, players like Bernardo Silva, Foden, Mahrez. Foden and Mahrez don't even start every game, and they were still ahead of him. But that doesn't mean that he's a bad player. And one thing about Cole Palmer, that I really like about him is he's always looking forward, always looking to attack, always thinking of a way that he can create some space for others and beat his man, and at the same time retain that ball. That's one thing I like about him. So when Couch is sort of saying that he doesn't think, sorry, Couch, could you say that statement again? Sorry, bro, just so I'm not misquoting.
Okay, maybe I should have clarified. I say offensive thinker. I like guys that, like, in the 10 that solve problems with their brain rather than with their feet. You know what I mean? They think the game that way.
But
so
your
number
brain
10
and your
to
feet
me, number
work
10 to me, number
together
10.
Though.
Okay.
I don't understand how you can say that.
Yeah, you use your brain to survey the pitch and figure out where the solutions are. It's not necessarily always with dribbling. It's about like putting that through ball through. Okay, I'm seeing this guy. I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing this guy over here making that run.
Let's play that ball through. That's what he's trying to say.
But everything that you're describing, I've seen Cole Palmer do. That's why I can't. That's why I'm sorry. I have
maybe
to
I need
statement.
to see more of him then. But I don't see it yet. That's what I'm saying. So if you have some other understanding of it, then please speak on it, because I haven't seen that yet.
That's fine. That's why I'm a bit confused, because like you guys all know how Man City play, right? And especially their attackers as well. Pep wants them to keep that ball, and he wants them to make sure that they're an attacking threat, and that's what Cole Palmer brings. Obviously, Azpilicueta is not the greatest example because that man was finished. But let's not forget what Cole Palmer was doing to that man. I think I even tweeted about it at the time. I put it in the group. I was like, this guy could be Azpilicueta's son, and look how he's treating him. He was all over him that match. Do you get it? Again, I know it's Aspi, but this is what Cole Palmer does to defenders. He's a problem. He's a headache. And again, when it comes to being a little bit clutch in front of goal, having that finishing ability for a 21-year-old, bro, he's got one of the best left foots in the league. All it is that we haven't seen enough of Cole Palmer because there's others ahead of him. So it's unfair and it's not right to use that against him because it's not like
I'm not gonna lie to you, Don.
It's not like wait, Hassan, let me land, bro. Let me land, yeah. For you to start saying, oh, he has barely even played in this, that, bro. He's playing for Man City. And like I've said to you lot in the personal group chat, I've been told personally that him and Pep don't get on. And this is from someone that goes to games with Cole Palmer's friends, right? And apparently him and Pep don't get on. But Cole Palmer is quality, bro. I've watched him play in the Champions League for them. Doesn't look out of place. I've seen him play in the Carabao Cup. He's basically front line for their second team. How many times have we said over the years, Man City have basically got a B team? He's front line for that, bro. When the B team gets called upon, Cole Palmer's front line, and he plays well for them. Do you get it? So what it is right now is that I feel like, obviously, people were looking at Musiala and Wirtz and whatnot, bigger names, and then they've got Cole Palmer. But if you've actually watched this guy 90-minute games consistently, you'll know how good he is. And I disagree that every Man City fan is happy that he's gone, because a few of them that I've spoken to have said like they're not happy about it. Like I've said, they're not happy with it.
I spoke. I'm just saying who I spoke to. They were laughing at the fact that we paid 45 for him. They were laughing, like literally. But that's neither here nor there. Like
maybe
none of us are experts here, right? No, nobody's an expert. No, these are like diehard City fans. They were laughing. Like, I can't believe you did that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. It's not necessarily.
Maybe,
that's not really something I study. I don't.
And then when it comes to like different profiles as well, yeah, this guy offers us something completely different to what Mudryk and Madueke offer us, because those guys are more their first thought is to beat their man and run at their man. Cole Palmer's different to that, bro. So when we had that conversation the other day, Couch, Cole Palmer's a different type of player to Bacola. Do you get it? Bacola, Madueke, Mudryk, these guys are quite similar. Cole Palmer, I would put him more on the other side of the, being a little bit like Jack Grealish, but actually drives at their man as well and tries to beat their man, I would say, with Cole Palmer. So he's a different profile to what we haven't got in the team already, man. And like I've said, I've got confidence with this guy in front of goal. You know, them chances that Chilwell got the other day, Palmer's burying that for fun, bro. Burying it for fun. We literally just witnessed it the other week. And this guy, he gets good goals from outside the box. So imagine him in and around the area. But this is a good signing, man. This is a good signing. So listen, I hear people's concerns. I hear people's, why people are skeptical. It's fair enough. I would feel the same if I've never watched him like that. But I'm vouching for this guy because I've watched enough of Cole Palmer to know how good he is. And I think he'll work for us, honestly.
Well, going on to that, and obviously I looked at the stats. The stats aren't obviously great, but there's a lot of games where he just came on off the bench. I'd say majority of them is probably where he comes on the bench rather than start. But I'm really interested to know what forwards' thoughts are on Cole Palmer. You've heard Couch's side, you've heard Don's side. I mean, it was a big shock. It was a big shock to most Chelsea fans when it was brought out by Fabrizio Romano that Chelsea were interested in the player. What are your thoughts on him?
It's mixed thoughts. It's mixed. I see the overarching feeling is good, I'd say, but I want to break it down in chronological order from how I've assessed the situation, and then maybe we'll come to more of an understanding on the overall feeling with this. But so initially, obviously, I knew we were going to get an extra attacker, and I was hoping it's going to be someone who's more of a goal scorer, and I was told someone that can play across the front line, which would include the striker. Obviously, Palmer isn't that. We've gone for more of a creator, and fair enough, that's cool. I still feel like our attack needs more goals, more guarantee of goals, and also someone a bit older, because again, in terms of guys who have experience and are naturally going to take that responsibility to be the main guys in our attack, it's only really Sterling, who's obviously got great experience, and then Nkunku, who's still relatively young but has multiple years playing at a top level. So outside of that, we haven't really got those kind of guys. But we've got Palmer, cool, that's fair enough. We've tried to go for a creator, so someone that can play on the wing and also the 10. That's fair enough. If you look at our attacking options now, outside of Carney, we actually haven't really got anybody who is naturally a 10. I'd say Nkunku's more naturally a second striker. He did used to play 10 coming up, but now he's more of a second striker. And then you have Gallagher who can play 10 but not really a natural 10. And then you have everybody else, Modric, your Nonnies, your Sterlings. These guys are all mainly wingers. So with Palmer, it's a bit different because yes, he's played a lot on the wing at senior level, but he came up playing number 10. That's where he played mostly through the academy. And this is when it comes on to the price, right? So I guess the big reservation that people like Couch have, which is the right reservation to have, is that we're paying a lot for a guy who's only had 3 Premier League starts, some sub appearances in the Champions League, whatnot. So at senior level, he's not very decorated, of course. He's got the trophies, being at City, cool, but in terms of what he's actually done, there's not much skin in the game. Fair enough. However, what nobody's mentioned yet is the fact that he is very decorated at under 21 level. In fact, at youth level, he's one of the most decorated players of his generation. He won the under 17s tournament, was one of the best players of that tournament. Did well at the 2021 World Cup, I believe. England didn't win that one, but he done very well. And then they've just won the 2023 tournament in the Euros. He was great that whole tournament, played most of the games, fantastic. He's also won 2 leagues with the under 21s with Man City as well. So it's somebody who's done a lot of great things at under 21 level. And yes, people are going to be like, oh, it's only youth football, this, that, the other. I get it, but there's a lot of players who have come up who have done great at youth football and have got big reputations and have gone on to make big moves. So you can't dispute that. You can't just overlook that. So yeah, at senior level, he still has to do a bit more.
As well forward. Phil Foden had the same journey. The guy literally had the same journey, bro.
100%. And you know, I'm actually glad you brought that up because that brings me up to another point where I think Couch said that, Pep didn't trust Palmer in the 10. And obviously that's why now people see Palmer as just a winger when he came up as a 10. But obviously, you know what Pep likes to do and moves players around. And listen, Pep not trusting Palmer in a 10, that for me, that's not really a big like black marker on Palmer because Pep doesn't trust Foden in a 10. Like, I rate Foden ridiculously highly. So Pep's one of these guys in there. And Pep like, usually, who are we to really question Pep? But listen, Pep not rating somebody or trusting somebody in a certain position when you got guys like KDB, Bernardo about, Gundogan about, I'm not going to hold it to you. And I think Palmer's still quality talent, which he is like. And he's shown that in what we've seen.
Sorry for it. I should just jump in with it. That's exactly what I'm saying though. Like I have no problem with that. But he wasn't trusted in that role for a reason, right? Because of what the demand is from Pep in that position.
Yes, I hear that, and that comes on to actually what my next point is, which is about the offensive thinker term. And I get where you're coming from, Couch. I do. I think maybe the term is more like, for me, the way I interpret the term is more like a conductor, like a natural guy, a natural conductor, somebody who's gonna like get the ball, like try and dictate play a bit, and like be like sort of like the orchestra for our attacks in the final third. And like I look at that kind of 10 being someone like a David Silva, someone like a Juan Mata. Hazard was more like that from the wing. Like obviously Hazard could like drive at players and just beat guys through dribbling, but he would sometimes slow the tempo of the game down and like try and play make. And is Palmer that? Not necessarily, but he can do that. Again, I've seen him be able to do that. He's not done it as much, obviously, at senior level for Man City because they have other orchestras like De Bruyne and Bernardo who take more responsibility in that aspect. But Palmer could develop into that here. But this is where, again, one of my reservations comes is that we have so many young Gs that have great ability, great talent, yes, but who are the guys to really take like the initiative and be like, I'm going to be that guy and take the hold of certain games. And I feel like with a lot of these guys, they are talented. Like Nonny's talented, Palmer's talented, Modric talented, but they all gonna need time and space to grow. And we're trying to grow all of these separate plants together. Like they could all grow, bloom into great flowers, but they're all together. So it's gonna be difficult giving them all the time and space they need to nurture them right. So that's where obviously Poch has to do a great job as manager. We also have to try and have faith in what Bowley's doing. I think it's maybe slightly overkill in the terms of the young talent, but why off the top I said I'm going to be more positive and happy about the situation is because if you look at our rivals, Spurs, they're undercooked and they're penny pinching around looking for players. Now they're trying to get Gallagher, which is not going to happen. Look at Man United, the great Manchester United, absolutely looking like bums in this market, offering 1+1 for Amrabat on loan. Like just shameful business that they're doing. So that's what we're doing. Maybe too much, probably, but I'd rather more than less. So ultimately, I think it's okay. I think Palmer is a top talent, and we just have to wait and see and hope that it works out.
I think one of the main question marks that we've all got, even rivals, is that have Chelsea got enough firepower? Obviously, we've all got questions about what's his name, Jackson, in front of goal. We've got questions about certain players in front of goal. Do you get it? But I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't got a question mark for Cole Palmer in front of goal. I think this guy's going to add a little bit more firepower. until at least January. Because like I said, this guy's going to bury a lot of chances that he gets. Like with Cole Palmer, I've seen him do it already for Man City, and this is the best team in the world. Yeah, and he's had no problems doing it. So we're technically a step down for him. So why can't he do it over here as well? You get it? I get he's a young player. For a 21-year-old, the guy's polished, bro. He's polished for a 21-year-old.
I don't dispute that, but one of the other drawbacks I have to the signing is that, like, will we have made this if Nkunku was fully fit and Carney was fit? I don't know. And this is my thing, like, we're handing now a 7-year contract to somebody that we wouldn't have signed if we didn't have injuries. And it's like, that's a big commitment to give to somebody that wasn't on your primary list to go and get. Now, let's say, I'm speaking almost as if Palmer's a second choice target or whatever. Maybe he is, but he is a quality player. That doesn't dispute what he's done for Man City in this little that we've seen him, and also at youth level. And yeah, squad depth is important. We also have a lot of injuries, even though we're not in the Champions League this season. We're going to be in Champions League next season, hopefully. So,
when was the last time that we need to build a squad? Like Jem was saying earlier in the stream, when was the last time that we had a team that had no injuries, bro? I haven't seen it in God knows how long. And Noni even said it himself. That we're trying to get back into Europe. We need top players in every position. And this is what I was saying about being proactive. As long as everyone strings together and they understand their role. Because even look at Man City. Do you ever see Mahrez and that coming out complaining? Do you ever see Foden and that coming out complaining when they're out of the team? Because they know that that's part of the project. That's part of what it is. And you come in when you're called upon. And some games you might start. And that's the sort of dynamic that you need.
You come in to when you come into these top teams, if you come in with the attitude that you should start, then you shouldn't be there. Because you're coming into a team where you're going to be playing with other top quality players in positions, and you're going to have to compete and challenge. And if anything, that should better you as an individual. You should want that challenge. That'll make me a better person because I have to then go out and beat Grealish for that position. Do you know what I mean? Like 100%. That's what we need at Chelsea, because that's what Chelsea had back in the old days. I'm talking about when we were successful. We had top players across all areas, all competing and all happy, all understood the role. They all knew what they were getting themselves into.
Yep.
We were successful from it. And that's what we want.
This is what I was going to say about the whole thing, right? I hear what you guys are trying to say about the whole nurturing and growing, right? But we have signed, and let's be honest, we have signed quite a lot of youth players. And we are all expecting them to grow and nurture. My question is, how many of them are you expecting to actually work out? How long are you guys going to actually give them? And will Poch even have the time? Because let's be honest, the more signings and the more money that we actually spend, the more pressure is going to be for Poch and the board to obviously reach the targets, whether it be FFP reasons, competing for the league and stuff like that. So there's a lot of question marks that we are expecting quite a lot of these talents to work out, but that's literally what my question was. Like, how long are you guys going to actually give him, and when should you demand to win?
Let me just really say this very quickly. We've signed them for 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, how long are we going to give them? Well, they're being given 7-year contracts, whether we like it or not. We're going to have to play the long game and be patient, in my opinion, and hope whatever it is that their idea is as a project is the right way moving forward. Because this is a young team. This is a young team being brought in, not for the now, but more for the future. But there's also players that have been brought in for the now and are still very young. Enzo Fernandez, Christopher Nkunku. Yeah, these type of players are, you get what I mean? So I think they're trying to like make sure that we're competitive, meaning get Champions League, try and win cup, whatever, and what we're doing. But along the way, bring these young, talented players across with this and gain experience along the way. And hopefully we just have this amazing team in the next 2 to 3 years. Do you see what I mean?
It's true. I hear it. I just want to say as well, like, to Hassan's point, like, that's the major question. Obviously, we have to give them time because we put the commitment down. We offer these guys 7-year contracts. But this is my reservation of handing out this many 7-year deals, because I was seeing a friend of mine saying that, we're going to now go for Musiala next summer. That's the big target. I'm like, no, we just got Palm with a 7-year deal. I don't feel that now.
Yeah, that's
all the young players that we have, we're going to go and get Musiala. And that's like my thing. Like, I would have loved to have got Musiala, and that's why I feel like we could leave this spot open for now. If we just give our Maxim more, because that's what we're going to keep Cucurella, right? So Maxim could be like an extra attacking option that we have, and we just get to January and we just see like that.
But think about it this way:
when you add this many, so just to end up, make this point quickly, just like when you hand this many 7-year contracts out now, let's say I see with Napoli now, Kvaratskhelia and his agent are trying to negotiate for a 90 million release clause in his contract for next season. So let's say now we wanted to go and get a left winger. Well, we really shouldn't because we've got Modric who we put all this investment into. So like going for a Kvaratskhelia or try and go for a Leao, it's really kind of almost counterintuitive when you've got this much invested in the likes of Modric, Palmer, Noni. So we almost have to wait now. And that's why for me, I don't know if I feel that comfortable with it because we have to wait on these guys. But now in terms of buying like the next top talent that we want to get, that could be like a Musiala or Kvara, who's young, but they're proven. We can't really go and do that now because we've invested this much in those guys. And now let's say if we go and do that, we wasted money on the Palmer because we're not trying to let him develop properly, which is silly.
I get that, bro. I do get that you know, there's potentially you could go get like players like Musiala, KK. Obviously, I don't know how to pronounce his name, yeah. So man like KK on the left as well, yeah. But what it is, though, Couch,
bro.
Yeah, Kavricha, yeah. But what it is, yeah, like you said, one of the points you made earlier is that look at Man United, look at them right now, they're muddy, bro, in the market, yeah. Liverpool have had a shambles right now, yeah. When you look in and around us, bro, a lot of teams are struggling with depth and injuries are going to happen. And those teams are all playing in Europe. Do you get it? So right now, the board are looking at it, probably looking at it like, raw. We've got a big opportunity right now because look at everyone around us. We can be proactive and build a big squad right now to, again, be ready for Champions League. But in the same breath, take the opportunity this season to definitely reach Europe. And I think it's a good opportunity to take because, like I said, Man United are on their knees. Liverpool on their knees right now in terms of depth. And if you look at us right now, let's say Caicedo for whatever reason got injured. We've got Leslie there. Do you get it? This guy might come out. Modric might come out. You've got Maatsen there. You've got Palmer there that can play Cam. You've got Lavia there. You've got so many options right now, bro. So it doesn't matter who leaves. There's someone else to come in. And that is a problem that we've really struggled with recently, right? Even just last season, bro. Injuries ruined us. But now we've actually got a competent squad that can come in. And if whoever comes in, we're not mad at it like that. Do you get it? Because we're actually intrigued to see what they can do. Yes, they're young players, but that is the whole point, bro. That's the whole point of a squad. We're trying to get young players that can hack it in the league.
Yeah, well, this kind of.
I truly believe that it's more than that. Yeah, go ahead, bud.
No, I just want to quickly get Enzo in. I want to get Enzo AJ in just to have a quick say. So we need to move on. I need to get onto the game as well because that's the next part of it.
Can I quickly just jump in on that thing about the young players though, quickly? Because I think that's a good talk. I don't think that we're trying to win. Yeah, I don't think that we're trying to win this year or next year. I think that we're looking to build a team that it has longevity over the course of the next 5, 6, 7 years. You know what I mean? So we're not looking to compete because the price to compete right now with the Man Cities right now is very, very high. Not that we haven't met that price in some ways, but like it's very, very high. And I think that what they're trying to do is be on top of the next dynasty. And yeah. I'm patient enough for it. I'm ready.
I get that. I get that, Couch. And yeah, we all agree that right now we're not. I wouldn't say that we're ready to win, but internally, bro, I don't think the mentality is that. I think these guys actually want to push themselves and see how far they can go. And if we stumble across what do you call it, a way to actually try win the league this season, like Arsenal did last year, I'd want us to go for it, bro. I'm not saying that we're building a squad to win this year. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is the opportunity is there to comfortably get top 4. You know, I've jumped on various streams. I've said so far with the business that we've done, I honestly think we're going to get third. I think Liverpool's depth at the back are finished. Yeah, their midfield, they still haven't even got a CDM after Gravenberch and Endo. You've got Man United, they've got Amrabat now, but what happens if he gets injured, for example? They've got Mountain to come back. That midfield's still a bit imbalanced. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm looking at the other teams and the depth that they've got and the fact that they're in Europe as well, bro. It's a massive opportunity for us to comfortably get top 4 and hopefully at least push to try and get a trophy this season. So I get what you're saying. Yes, the young players are to compete over a long period of time. But in isolation about this season, the board have taken the opportunity to build the squad. So we're in a better position than United and Liverpool's, for example. I think we can get third with this squad, honestly.
I think the players that we signed, just to jump on what Don just said, I think the players we signed will have the mentality that they can possibly win the league, especially with Poch. You know, you hear his tone in all the interviews. He's always talking about winning. You know, it's very important to him right now, and I guess that's maybe coming down from the board as well. And he probably hears the talk, you know, on the internet and just all over that, oh, Poch is not a winner. So I do think we have brought in people who do have a goal to win. And then on top of that, Cole Palmer, he's used to winning. He's coming from a big club that has been winning like big time over the past 5 years. So just going back to Cole Palmer, Cole Palmer. When I think of a 10, I don't think of Cole Palmer. I'm like, that's just my initial thought. So when we're in the market looking for a 10, he's not the first name that comes up to my mind. Essentially, he kind of fits more in with the Maduekes, with the Mudriks, with those type of players, just because of, like, I look at him and I see what he's good at. He's good at carrying the ball. He's good at manipulating the ball. When it comes to a 10, the skill set is just a little bit different. And, when you grow up and you come through the ranks, you're going to play multiple positions. So I understand him saying, oh, right wing and number 10 are my two best positions, because you're not going to just have one position coming through the ranks. But when you get older and you get into the big leagues, you normally end up getting shoehorned into the position you're going to play. And he's been playing right wing for the past few years for a reason.
But can I just quickly jump in and say that, listen, AJ, I hear you. In terms of like assessing his game, he's not a quintessential 10, but he has played 10 for the majority of his career. And obviously at City, he's been shoehorned to the wing just so he can get any kind of minutes. So he is, like, I'll tell you now, like, he's played more games at 10 in his career than he's played on the wing.
And he was on the right.
I haven't watched him to see those games, so I'm just gonna go off you guys' word. But just from what I see, and over the last 2 years of him, he seems like a great right winger, especially coming in with that left foot. Essentially, we've been looking for that for a long time. We signed Mahrez, we signed Ziyech. We were hoping that he was.
I wish we signed Mahrez. Yeah,
I wish we signed Mahrez, right?
Bro, some City fans are confused as to when they saw the news come out, they're thinking they're thinking this is going to be the big season. Like, I'm in a few group chats and a few rivals were saying, like, even United fans were like, we thought this was the season where he was going to step in and be that Mahrez replacement, because they're quite similar of how they play.
I don't know if
you get it? But I fully hear what you're saying, AJ, because, like, for me, 10s I was looking at was like Cherky, Morgan Gibbs-White, Eze, those sort of players. I get it. They're specialists. They're specialists in that role. But that doesn't take away Palmer's attributes to play in that role. Do you get it? The guy can find the pass. His weight of pass is amazing. When it comes to making those late runs in the box, I trust him to finish the chances. So I think he'll do a job in that role, man. I don't think he's a specialist in that role, but I think he's played it enough to know what you need to do in that role and how to play that role. Does that make sense?
I love that he can finish. That's probably my favorite thing, because he's sometimes you look at some players and you're like, oh, if he gets a chance, he's definitely at least giving the goalie big problems, and I like that, because we don't really have too much of that. So
I agree.
Yeah, Noni's very good, like, in terms of attacking at the box, but like he hasn't got that whip that Palmer's got. That's a bit of difference to have that.
100%, and I think that's a big fact when it comes to it. And I think we've added maybe something that we don't have at the moment, and I keep saying it, and I agree with what AJ says and most of you say. I think in front of goal, he is someone that will hopefully, provide some goals when we need it. And what I like about him is he's very, like, he's direct, but then when he does take his shot, it's like he likes to just curl it top corners. It's like he wraps his foot around it, and it seems
he
to
places
always
it.
work. Right?
He's always got like a corner. He just picks a corner in the goal and he just puts it there.
He knows what he wants to do.
He knows what he's doing, and he's done it. And there's more than one example of him doing it, bro. That's why I know that he knows that skill like that, bro. And he's only 21. He's only going to get better, man.
100%.
Get better.
100%. All right. Moving on from that, because we do need to quickly get into tomorrow's game against Forest. Obviously, it's the last game before the international break, guys. We spoke about the fixture list and what was important in Chelsea doing up to the point, and it was winning. They've won their games against Wimbledon and prior to that as well. And obviously, this is their last game before that. In terms of injuries, no new injuries. The only thing they did say is that Romeo Lavia still isn't around and will be available or won't be available going into tomorrow's game. He's just not ready yet. He is training. He's just not at the level or standard of fitness where they need him to be. I still think with Lavia that the aim for him will be obviously after the national break, but getting him ready for that big period of hard games that we have got coming up. And I think that's where we will see the introduction of him more so in the team as well. So maybe a bit more of pre-planning with that. In terms of tomorrow's game, Forest at home, are we going to see a back four, guys? We'll do this all together. Are we going to see a back four, or are we just going to see what we've seen most of so far, which is going to be the back three, which is it's a four, but it looks like a three, doesn't it, at the back? What do
Is
we reckon?
Colwell out? Is Colwell out?
Colwell's fine.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, it was just a kick. He's good.
It'll
It's going to be
probably
more
back
like
to-
a 3-4-3 when we attack. So
You can't get away from this back three, man. This is insane.
I don't think it's going, to be honest, man.
this
I'll
is
be real.
insane. Man.
I think. I mean, the preseason's any indication of how we're going to play. It's going to be with a attack with a back three, and I have no problem with that because most
Oh,
teams
yeah,
do
that's
that
cool.
anyways.
That's cool. But then having 3 centre backs and then also 2 fullbacks holding our width, I don't like that.
I don't like. That I don't like. I don't want to have 5 defenders on the pitch.
is
Yeah.
Midrick's back as well. Obviously, he's available.
It'll be a sub.
He'll be a sub because he won't be ready. So the back three going to be the same back three as we've always seen with Colwell, Silva, and Disassi in it, right?
Yeah.
Sassi played this week. I mean, he played in the cup game. So I don't know if that means anything, but
But they're gonna have a break, aren't they? So I don't think it really does mean much, to be fair. So I think they'll just play whoever he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play this. I don't think the thing that annoys me with this the most is that we don't need to play this against Forest at home. We need more offensive players on the pitch than we do defensive. So why are we playing a defensive team against these players, against these teams? I don't get it.
But this is my thing, right? I don't mind this 3 being here because again we lack height generally. So if you want to have these 3 centre backs here for like that extra solidity and defending counters, cool. Like by all means, because you've got a One-Knee who scored 7 games in a row, like pretty close to Vardy's record. Like cool. If you have the extra solidity there, fine. But then have attacking players in the wide areas. Don't put Chilwell at left wing, bro. Like it's not the one. But yeah, we'll see, man.
Living a 3-1-4-2. I don't even know what it is.
Should we start? Because I said like basically Colwell plays left back. You know, Disassi plays right back. You know, should we just put it as a
It's
back?
like a 3-4-2-1, like a box midfield, in it, like so, like a left forward, right forward, like more narrow. Yeah, basically, kind of like that.
Yeah, it's not a formation that correlates it.
Surely he can't go with that shape again, Jem. Though, man. Surely not, man.
He will. Why would he not? He's been playing.
Why would he change it,
Bro? Because we've got more bodies back now, man.
Yeah, but the guys you brought in aren't going to start though. Like they're going to be coming off the bench. Like Palmer's coming off the bench. Obviously, Lavia's probably not even going to play.
I don't think it's too different from how other teams play. To be honest, it's just who you have on the pitch. The shape doesn't matter to me, as I've been saying. For me, it's about who is on the pitch. Who is on the pitch? If you have 5 defenders on the pitch, you have a problem for me. If you're gonna go with,
let's be serious.
He's gonna.
You know what? To Couch's point, right? Like if Matson even though Matson's technically a defender, like if Matson played where Chilwell is, I actually wouldn't mind.
Would not mind.
Yeah, Matson can attack, bro. Like he can attack, bro. Like he's crazy gifted, bro. Like
and on the ball, he's a lot better. He can actually drive at his man and beat his man in comparison to Chilwell.
And he can create, though. Like even in preseason, some of the passes he was pulling off is like, bro, like those are like why matter passes. I'm like, I didn't know you had that in your bag, bro. Like. So again, that's somebody that you want in attacking areas, bro.
You want it like that, but then you want like Enzo. I don't know. You want like Enzo there with like here. I'm saying I don't know. Fuck knows, man. It's weird.
Yeah, it could be like a 3-5-2 where like it's the 3 in midfield and then it's like Sterling just off of Jackson. So like technically like this.
Maybe it's more
we
like
saw that the last game too. Actually,
yeah, like that. That's what it. That's
yeah. The three's a bit fluid. Sometimes it'll be Gallagher that pushes on, sometimes it's Enzo that drops and whatnot. Yeah, Sterling's more like right channel, like, and then Enzo is more like left channel. So that's why it's like, but it's kind of not super
it
like.
Kind of goes like that.
It was basically we basically played a
3-1-4-2. Basically,
we basically played a 4-3-3, bro. That's literally what we played. Literally.
3-1-4-2.
4-3-3.
I mean,
we pretty much played a 4-3-3 and then went to a 3 at the back when we had possession.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
I don't know if it's the shape that matters as much as the characteristics of what you're asking.
I mean, this is basically it, but it's fucking hilarious.
So yeah. Put Colwell with left back. Put Colwell with left back, and then put what do you call it? Silva next to him with Disassi. That's basically that's how that's the shape. Yeah, that's what we do, and then we go free in possession.
But the mannerisms, what you get off of that shape is what most matters. Like who's doing what, who's moving where, what are we trying to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do we even?
Cole was not going to overlap, but that's not his game. Right.
Say that again, Jim.
How are we even? When I look at it, it makes me feel sick. But how are we actually getting success playing these individuals in these positions? Because we talk about
there's 2 natural attackers on the pitch.
not playing players out of position, and we're still doing it, and we don't need to.
And this is why I'm saying surely he doesn't do it again. Surely he doesn't start Chilwell at left mid again.
Who are the odd ones out? Who are the odd ones out to you guys in this setup?
Chilwell
and Colwell.
Yeah,
that's why we never.
Colwell as much as
Colwell
can do a job there, he's better as a left centre back.
Honestly, I don't mind Colwell there, to be honest. I don't mind Colwell there. Listen, he's not going to give you overlaps, of course, and I think defending in wide areas does need to improve, but I think he's decent enough there. I just feel like if you have a good enough attacking left wing, then it's fine.
And that's why I prefer him as a left centre back.
Defensively, it's
those weaknesses there. Those weaknesses that you just spoke about forward, that's a mistake, bro. Up against a good winger's peak.
Why can't you just do that?
Defensively is good, but I think like our problem is attacking.
Or do this.
I don't know. It doesn't help us
get the back like that. Caicedo there, Gallagher, or whatever, Enzo, Jackson up there, and then obviously these two will be a lot closer than that, and then just play like a 4-2-3-1, which is a shit 4-2-3-1, more like that.
Yeah,
or saying I don't know, but with them
Enzo's the furthest man up in it, and then more of like a pivot on Caicedo and Gallagher. You know I mean? That's even if he's still here though.
That's what I would do.
I hear it, but to Couch's point, like we do build over 3, and the best teams right now do build over 3. It's just more effective, and I don't really see Gusto or Chilwell being guys that will make like the 3 in terms of the back to build up, but they're better like in wide areas. It's just with Chilwell is just too high up when he plays.
What you could do is you can drop Caicedo in the middle and play with Colwell, Caicedo, and Silva as your build up. And we did see that with Leslie the last game as well too. Like Leslie was dropping it to make that.
We moan about
it's just different.
We moan about the slow build up or the breaking down or why we don't move the ball quick enough and whatever, and we play out from the back. But when you play out the back from a 3 and you look at what you have on the pitch, and I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about the old what we have. How are you able to transition quick with players that ain't able to play that position? Like you can't. We have no left because we don't build from the left. What we actually do is we build from the right and we play through Gusto and Sterling, and then we try and get Chilwell just to get in the box or run behind Jackson. When he receives the ball. When Colwell gets the ball, how many times does he just peg it? Just pegs it. He don't even pass it to Chilwell.
Because they know if you try and play and build up with Chilwell, it's not going to work, bro.
So Jackson comes into Jackson. He holds the ball well because he's technically good at it. What does Chilwell do? Just runs off behind him and tries to all
Chilwell offers is running in behind, but if he receives it to feet, he just passes it straight back. And this is my biggest issue of him playing there and holding the whip, because you look at Man City, like Grealish holds the whip on their left hand side. So when he gets it, he'll attract players to him, which creates space for guys in the middle. Chilwell doesn't take long enough on the ball to attract guys to him. He just plays it straight back. And then the guys that receive it in the middle get pressured more, or he has to go back to Colwell and our play starts again. So that's why Chilwell on the left doesn't work. You compare it to guys like Grealish or Martinelli who holds the whip for the other teams. Like they offer so much more in the build-up phase, which is why Chilwell.
That's exactly why I'm not even looking at him forward. I'm looking at Poch, because it's Poch that's choosing him to play there. Chilwell's not going to turn around and say, I'm not going to play. He's been asked to do a job. He's going to play there. But, bro, you are not a winger. And like you said, it's clear to see. He hasn't got the attributes to play that role, bro. He hasn't got it.
We've brought in now, especially with Palmer now, we've brought in some strong attacking players. So for us to still play with a formation that reduces the amount of attacking players, it's counterproductive to me. I think we need to somebody needs to come out. One of these defenders has to come out, and to me, it's
Disasi. Facts. It has
to
be Disasi.
I'm not sure with Disasi. I'll be honest with you. So far,
I don't think he's been good, but I probably still keep Disasi in just for the physicality, because we do like.
What I'm trying to get is right. We went and bought him, and we're going to loan Trevor Chalobah to Bayern Munich. I'm going to wait. I am going to wait before I even whatever with this situation with Chalobah and Disasi. But you could have saved yourself if he does not end up working out. And Chalobah goes to Bayern and performs well on loan over there. Good for us because we can bring him back. But what's the point of getting Disasi in the first place when we got Chalobah, who plays better, by the way, in the back 3, which is what we're playing right now?
I think the theory is that Chalobah is still quite lightweight. Like he was getting better aerially last season, but he's not physically imposing, whereas Disasi is. But I mean, I agree with you, Jim. Disasi's not been good so far this season, so he still has a lot to prove for me. And obviously, he isn't really a young player. Like he's brought in kind of more for that now because he's 25. So like relatively young, but you've got good experience in the game. So like I'm expecting you to come in, not need too long to bed in and like mash work now. So he still needs to go.
Are we really doing this right now? After like what 3 games, we're
No,
writing
it's
off
not that. That's why I said. That's why I just said.
Let's not forget he
time.
scored already. Let's not forget he
Yeah,
scored.
but what did Koulibaly scored in his first game? What did he?
Yeah,
What did he do
what
after
it is,
that?
Couch? Yeah, how I look at it. How I look at it. I don't know if you guys agree. Go on, Couch.
Let me land. Okay, like I'm just
I'm giving
saying.
him time, by the way.
This is a very, very tough league to adjust to, especially as a defender, especially when you're playing with a high line. It's not like it's going to happen overnight. We've seen
The brother's slow, man. He's not going to get any faster.
He is slow. He is slow.
I'm not ready to
man. He's a heavy magnet. And this is what I'm saying, Couch, here. I'm so glad that you spoke about the high line, bro, because I'm looking at him, and in that defense, he's our weakest link here in that defense. Because Silva, as much as, people might say, oh, in the back four, Silva's not great. He reads the game a lot better than Disasi. So when I'm looking at him, Colwell, and Silva, I'm sorry, Disasi has to drop out of that lineup, man. He's the weakest link. I look at him as the weakest link. I'm not saying he's robbed. I don't think he's shit. I think he's okay.
So, as much as like I agree with you, like we're in possession of the football 65% of the time. His passing range is very good, and he's also a threat aerially. He's also a threat.
He also does dumb things.
Exactly.
That's
I haven't seen much of an. You know, the thing about him.
Get bullied off.
It's so true. Like it's so true. Yeah. Like I haven't seen a performance from him where I'm like, raw. This is a mad upgrade from Chalobah. Like Jem said, I'm watching the Chalobah situation closely, and for me, listen, from what we've seen of Disasi so far, it's not really a mad upgrade. It's not a mad upgrade like that.
That's my point so far. And that's what I'm trying to get to. It's not that I'm not giving Disasi time. It's no hate to Disasi. I will give him the time like I do with all players. Yeah. But I am watching closely. Yeah. Because if we're going to let Chalobah go, because he's supposedly an upgrade on Chalobah, then I need to see it.
You see how Badia Shield
35 million because Chalobah didn't cost us any money, by the way.
AJ, there we go. I wasn't saying this about Badia Shield. I wasn't saying this about Badia Shield.
Came in and instantly after the first performance or two, he was like, okay, this guy's an upgrade to what we have. Literally. Disasi, I mean, again, some players, it takes longer for them to translate what they got going on. So, and Disasi's young. I think Badia Shield was already a better player than Disasi. So we just got to give him time. But I think either him or Colwell got to come out of the starting lineup for us to.
Notice Couch how I'm the one who's not dropping him. By the way, like I still don't really rate him proper, but I still wouldn't drop him. I'd keep the back three to be honest.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, forward, you want to play Levi as a left back. For me, I don't think you're going to see the best of Levi at left back. Like number one, I want my left backs to be overlapping. That's one thing. And number two, when he's up against a good winger, I've seen this guy get skipped past a few times. Do you get it? Like he's obviously going to get better. He's only getting warm. But for me, left back is not his strongest position. He can do a job there. Yes, you're right in saying that. Certain games, I don't mind him playing there for certain oppositions, yeah? But right now, as it is, I need to see my left centre-back and I need to see a natural left back like Ben Chilwell or like a Matson, for example.
Don't think we...
but I don't think we don't play like that, though. Like, we don't really play with fullbacks overlapping. Like, we play with the three and then, like, one is like a very defensive fullback that just sits. So that's why it's not going to be Chilwell playing there because the LCB, he's like an LCB on the ball.
If the idea is to move into a back four in the long run, when Nkunku comes back and whatever, which I still think is what we want to do in the long run, right? I'm just going to say it. Why did we even sign him? Because we could have just kept Chalobah. We don't need this.
I told you, Jim, we signed him for the physicality, bro. Like he's a lot bigger and stronger than Chalobah. He hasn't really shown it, but you can see
falls down quite a bit.
I'm not saying.
I think you guys are looking at it from one perspective. You're looking at it from the defensive aspects. This guy is probably our best defensive aerial threat in our back line right now. There's nobody in that back line that can attack the ball like he can. Every ball that we play in is going to him right now, it looks like. And he's always the first man to...
That's both.
No, because his passing range is also very good as well. It's excellent. And if we're playing this back three system...
a lot better than Chalobah.
You have better than Chalobah?
Yes.
Way better than Chalobah. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Is it a lot better than Chalobah?
Oh my God. Bro, his passing range is miles better than Chalobah. His switches and stuff like that, pinpoint switches.
I don't think Chalobah was a bad
so you tell me a time you've seen Chalobah like drive up the field on the right and then switch it to the left with pinpoint accuracy. When have you ever seen that?
He's done it a couple of times, surely he has.
Come on now.
I don't think he's that bad. with the ball. He's
No,
very
Disasi's
good.
No
very
one's,
good.
no one's,
Very
no
good.
one's,
He's
no
very
one's
good
saying
at playing out
Chalobah's
from the
bad
back.
on the ball.
This is
No one's saying
nonsense.
Chalobah's bad on the ball.
That way.
Chalobah's decent on the ball, but Disasi is
That's
just
what I'm
better.
saying.
Like,
Yeah, no, Disasi is better on the ball, Jem. I'll be real with you. But what I'm saying is, what I've seen so far is not a mad upgrade where I'm like, raw, like this is a mad upgrade. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, I agree.
And if I had to pick a defender to drop, like AJ said, it will be Disasi in my opinion. Because I actually want to see Levi play at left centre back. But I do get what you're saying about building out from the
So why didn't we keep Chalobah
building out in the free? But like Couch said, bro, Casado could drop into that role. Do you get it? He could drop into that role if we play a back four. So
We could, but then now we're playing a different system. Because if we're playing a conventional four, then obviously Cole wouldn't play left back. But we're playing a lopsided one where like their left back really is just a left centre back on the ball, and then he defends in the four in wide areas. But some like when we're defending in our third, then he moves to like a left back. But how often are we going to be defending like that against Forest? Not much. So that's why we kind of cheat with it and have three centre backs in and push the full backs on.
That's what I'm saying. It all depends on opposition.
I just think Chalobah is actually quite hugely disrespected by Chelsea fans, in my opinion. Yeah, because
but Jem, you know I rate Chalobah though. I was talking about Chalobah all last season. I rate him. It's just I'm looking at it profile wise. We lack physicality.
Not talking about you. I'm just talking about in overall. I'm not just talking about specific people. I'm just talking about the Chelsea fan base, because they forget that Thomas Tuchel was the one that brought him through out of nowhere. And in fairness, he had a very good start to the season. Very good start to the season. Yeah, he had his blip, and he wasn't great. And then he got benched. And then guess what? We got injuries, and he came back in. And hands down for me was probably our best defender in that period. So it wasn't like he's a bad defender. We're making it sound like Chalobah was just not that good. He is a good defender. He just needs, like the others do, a bit of experience, a bit of time, a bit of love.
Yeah, he's 24 right now. If I'm not mistaken, Chalobah's 24 right now, right?
It was still very good for them periods. It's not like he was bad.
I'm not denying. I'm not taking it. I'm not going to rob him of his flowers. He played well in some stretches. Like he scored some crucial goals too. He's also made a lot of crucial errors in untimely moments. Like let's not lose sight of that as well. There's a reason why
we've already seen errors from Disasi. We've seen mad ones from Disasi already.
And Cole has made errors.
Everyone.
Yeah, both of them.
They all do it. And they're experienced. He's not even. He came from the academy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's exactly why that's why he has the stature he has, because it's easy to just throw him to the side because we didn't pay any money from him.
Yep.
And when he joined the team, remember he was always supposed to leave the team. Every window, Chalobah is leaving.
Matt's an update, man.
Matson is open to leaving
what?
on loan permanent to get more first team football. Chelsea bracing themselves for a late bid.
The bullshit they doing with Chilwell. He was like, "That's
Cucurella,
my
Poch fucked up playing Cucurella, bro. Why did Poch do that? Like seriously, bro.
Matson
what are we doing?
On a loan or permanent to get a more first team football. Chelsea are bracing themselves for a late bid. He's open.
Send him to Burnley. Send him to Burnley. Go right back there, bro.
So why are we stuck with Cucurella still? Why did they play Cucurella in the last game round? They should have done that, because he would have gone Man United on loan. They pulled out of that based on his performance against Wimbledon.
No, it's not that, Jim. He's cup tied, so it's complications. So he's not allowed to register for United for the cup games as well.
Oh well, okay, fair enough.
So we screwed ourselves regardless.
People were saying it was about him being played and this, that, and they pulled out. And that's why they went for Regulon, which is just a funny one in itself. But yeah, Ian Matson is open to leaving on loan, permanent to get more first team football. That again could just be waffle. We'll wait and see, guys.
I mean, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but for the way that we play, I feel like if this goes through, I feel like we've let our best two left backs go, and we've kept the worst two, for the way that we play. If I'm honest.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, cool. Poch, cool. Is it cool?
Technical wise, by far. Technical.
Okay.
Even end products, bro.
End product wise, by far. Cucurella. I mean,
some of the whips I've seen Lewis Hall putting up here last season. Jesus Christ, bro.
Bro, Chilwell and Cucurella can't cross, bro. Like they actually can't cross, bro. Like it's just this is silly, man.
But even on the ball.
The thing is, Jem, yeah, I get what you're saying about Poch playing Cucurella, because I was even pissed off about that. Yeah, why did he play him? But Man United, yeah, apparently they wanted to put something in the clause to allow them to terminate the contract in January, and that's not what Chelsea wanted to do. So I've got the feeling that Chelsea kind of realized that these aren't serious, because they weren't even trying to pay the loan fee. So they just thought, fuck it, let's just play him. Because Man United went on to go and get
that was the major issue. That was the major issue because if we didn't take him back in January, then he can't sign for a third club in the same season. That's why the deal broke down. It's not about being cup tied or anything.
Yeah, exactly. We basically had no choice because these lot weren't being serious. They nearly saved us and then they fucked about as always. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, that brings me to our match predictions for today's show, guys. And we will start with Hassan. What are you saying, bro?
I should expect a 2-0 win. I think it should be comfortable, and I don't think they'll pose any sort of problems. I believe that 1 or 2 players from their main squad are injured as well. So I don't really see them scoring, to be honest, unless we do something daft. But yeah, it's going to be 2-0 from me.
Catch?
2-1, and Wani is a problem. 2-1.
2-1. Oh, I mean, AJ, what are you saying, bro?
I don't even know, man. I'm just gonna say 3-1. Hopefully, we win 3-1.
Forward.
Listen, man, my countryman, I want to eat. Yeah, listen, bro.
Oh,
I actually just had a cold there still. All right, this weather's killing me. But listen, bro, like, yeah, like we concede goals. I can see him scoring, and offensively, like I thought we'll create. Especially if you use the formation that I want to use or the players that I want to use, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Again, end product is still a concern of mine because even against Wimbledon, from the chances that I saw, you saw Gallagher miss a clear 1v1. You saw Noni miss a 1v1. You saw Enzo miss an open goal from 20 yards. So like, we're creating chances and them guys are still missing them. So like, I'm hoping over the season that the likes of Palmer, when Nkunku comes back, like Sterling, that they'll be a bit more clinical in front of goal. But obviously, as for this game, I'm gonna say 2-1. I think it's gonna be a tough game, but yeah, we should win, man. So I'll say 2-1.
Go on, Don.
I'm saying 3-1. I'm saying 3-1. I'm trusting that this man just plays people in their position, innit? But again, I don't trust us defensively right now. We're a bit shaky, man. A bit shabby. So yeah, man, I think Awoni will do a little something. We might not even see Brennan Johnson. So who's their threat really? Awoni, that's it.
Yeah, he's going for Spurs by looks of it.
So
wait, Don, you're Nigerian, innit? Wait, Don, are you Nigerian?
No, I'm Zambian.
Oh, okay. I can't get onto you for the pronunciation. Then never mind. All good.
Yeah,
all
I'm
good.
Zambian, man. My boy Patson might be going to I think AC Milan. I saw his name, Patson Daka. I think he's going. Let me just double check on Twitter. I saw his link somewhere.
Why he's doing
You
that?
think Cole Palmer will start?
No.
Yeah, I'm saying 3-1 Chelsea. 3-1 Chelsea.
AC got a decent little team, you know.
I'm going to go with AC
Milan are trying to get Patson Daka. He's going to go play with Ruben.
Yeah, they got a decent team this season, you know, man. Decent.
That's my Italian team this year, man.
100. Oh, yeah, Ruben's cooking there, yeah. Oof.
3-0, guys. 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go
for that one.
I'm going to go Sterling.
First clean sheet of the year.
I'm going to go Jackson. And I'm going to go with Enzo Fernandez. There you go. 3-0.
That'd be beautiful.
That'll be beautiful, man. Yeah, man.
Guys, big up to you. I've got a dip, man. Got stuff to get on with, unfortunately. It's been good, man. I don't see Chelsea doing much else other than outgoings. If we get any more amazing incomings, which I don't think is going to happen, if we do, we'll be back. All right, we're back later on. So big up, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Big up the panel as always, man. Enjoyed it. We are going on a 2-week break. However, after this game, we will have the match reaction next week. And then we've got the summer transfer review show where we will be rating the players that we signed, talking about the overall squad, the depth of it, what have we missed out on, things like that. We've got that show.
There's a lot to get through. We made too many signings, bro.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
We'll get that. We'll just bring the panel in straight away on that one so we can just all go
I'll take a few hours.
It's like a 2-3 hour show that alone.
Well, it'll be interesting.
And outgoings too. Aye, that is a long thing, bro.
Well, we'll fly through it.
Brennan Johnson, by the way, Brennan Johnson, here we go, by the way.
There we go. See you later.
Spurs?
We ain't seen him. Yep, to Spurs.
They're building something there. They're building a team made for Europa League. Anyway, guys, big love. See you later. And we'll see you very soon. Let's go.